Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is an unscripted video about bullying, and it was prompted by something that someone said to me via Facebook earlier this week. They said that I couldn't possibly understand what a genocide is because I'm autistic. Now, I hadn't disclosed that I am autistic to this person who I don't know. They were obviously very annoyed by something I'd said earlier and then Googled me, presumably found this channel, and thought that they'd use my autism as a weapon against me. That was a doomed cause. I'm autistic. I'm not proudly autistic. I'm very neutrally autistic. But to try to portray me as being weak or deficient because I'm autistic is, like I said, it's a doomed cause. It's not going to work on me. And the irony is that they clearly themselves did not understand what a genocide is. I'm not going to get into the genocide now. I'm not going to keep saying the word. I'm just making the point that they were trying to win a political discussion, not that it should necessarily be a battle. But anyway, they were trying to make their point or make their point more convincing by making me look silly because I'm autistic when they made themselves look silly because they don't understand what a genocide is, and they don't understand that autism is not a deficiency, it's a different way of thinking. So that got me thinking about bullying, because this person was clearly trying to bully me. And I think bullying is probably something that's happened in every single autistic person's life. It's something that unfortunately is an occupational hazard of being in this world, because this world contains lots of unpleasant people. And the majority of people are neurotypical, and I would suggest that the majority of bullies are neurotypical. And I'm going to look offside. I'm going to look off camera to the side at my very scant notes. And yeah, school. So school is my first note. Now, this is a bit of an odd one for me because I wasn't, well, I don't think I was bullied at school. I really loved school. I loved the structure. I loved the fact that I got praised for knowing things. I could do a deep dive into subjects. I could info dump or info share, and I'd get praised for that. So school was made for me. I was made for school. Um, and yeah, I've got lots of happy memories about going to school. So I don't really recall being bullied, but this is unscripted, so I'm thinking on my feet here or thinking on my backside. I don't think I was bullied, but being autistic and not knowing sometimes when people are being honest with me or not, maybe people did tease me and I just didn't realize. But that's a very low level form of bullying. I do appreciate that lots of people, autistic or neurotypical, have been horribly bullied at school. I'm not downplaying that at all. I'm just saying that in my own experience, and I can only really talk about autism from my own experience through these videos, I wasn't bullied at school. I remember the school being very strict about bullying, and people seemed to take it on board. Certainly, when I was around, I just kind of hid, really, not masking, just stayed away from people. Or maybe that was masking. I don't know. But school, for me, bullying didn't really happen. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate that it is widespread. In other people's experience, it was widespread, and sadly, currently, I'm sure plenty of people are being bullied. But for me, not so much. But definitely in work, I have been bullied at work. Now, work, perhaps more so than school, is it's about showing off and status. And I've already leapt ahead to my next word on my list. Let's talk about work. So I've been bullied at work horribly, to the point where I've just had to leave, or I've been forced out, and I didn't know during those times that I am autistic, and I think people have pounced on a suspected difference. They realize much more effectively than many health professionals, I feel, that I'm autistic without having formally assessed me. They just know that I'm different. And they've taken advantage of that. And for example, in one workplace, I was encouraged to give feedback about the new system that had been introduced that was responsible for my job, and I took their word. I thought, well, yeah, you've asked for my feedback. I'll give you my feedback. Um, that was not a good thing for me to do, I realized with hindsight, because the person who'd encouraged me to go for the job and give feedback hounded me out of that job. They bullied me. They physically shuffled their chair right next to me and spoke to me through gritted teeth very aggressively. I'm amazed when I think about it that they didn't hit me. They were so furious with me because I had the audacity to be honest about a system that they'd encouraged me to give feedback on. Very strange to me as an autistic person. It might be strange to you as a neurotypical person if you're neurotypical watching this video. To be asked to do something, do the thing, and then be bullied for that thing. And that's just one experience at work. There's another job I had, which is just, I still have, I'm traumatized by it. I still think about it. That's the impact of bullying in the workplace for me. I still think about it. It pops up in my head. It makes me feel very, very depressed, even though it happened years ago. So I think bullying at work, sadly, is also very commonplace, and it's certainly something that I can identify with. Now, I've already mentioned status. Anywhere you go, where there's a group of people, there's going to be this notion of status, I would argue. And I think at work, to come back to that, people are jostling for promotions. They're trying to impress certain people. And I've never been interested in status at work. When I go to work, I just want to do the thing that I'm paid to do and go home and make a silly video, or write a song, or just not to do something that I want to do. I'm not interested in office politics. I I, d- I'm polite to people, but I don't take a huge interest in what they do outside of work. I just go to work, do my thing, and go home. But I do understand that a lot of people go to work, um, but their career is very, very important to them. And I'm not being dismissive of people who want to develop their careers at all. I've just never been uh, motivated in that way. I've been motivated by my special interests, which sadly for me aren't monetizable at the moment. Come on, subscribers, join my channel. This is not my day job. But I enjoy doing it. And I think about it a lot, and I think about other interests that I have. Work is a means to an end. It's a means to do the things that I want to do. So I'm not really interested in power struggles. Frog in the throat there. I'm not interested in um, impressing people. I mean, I want them to believe that I'm competent. I want them to accept that I'm competent. I'm not faking it. I'm an honest autistic person. I want to do a good job. I want to be praised for it, but I don't want to be, you know, lauded like, I'm the greatest person in the world. I just want to do a good job and go home. But because I don't play that status game, if you want to call it that, or I'm calling it that, I think I've been judged negatively, and people have sort of frowned upon me for not playing that status game, and they've seen me as an obstruction to their own ambitions. And I feel that that has fed into bullying. People have been unpleasant towards me because I'm not interested in the status game. I'm in the way of them achieving their ambition, and they have seen that as permission to treat me badly. And that's obviously not fair. So bullying can be related to status. Of course it can. And that's about approval from peers. So obviously that applies to school as well. People see that it's appropriate to pick on someone to gain favor amongst their friend group. And I'm looking up my notes again. Sorry, I keep doing that. Because I've got the word sadism next to hierarchy. There's a hierarchy. I'm deemed to be lower down the hierarchy. I am deserving of mistreatment because I'm at this point or in the past undiagnosed autistic. People sense that I'm different to them, and they see me as an opportunity to elevate their own status within their peer group, which I don't belong to. So I appreciate there's a lot of overlap between what I've already said, hierarchy and status. But to just place it within a school context, I do understand that bullying happens because people see that as a means to be accepted within their friend group, and or other people are just they're just props for that particular person's ego and sense of belonging, um, which I just find absolutely bizarre that you would mistreat a human being um, to improve your own place in the world, a place that's founded on mistreatment. I do not understand it. I don't understand bullying. Why would you go out of your way to be horrible to someone? Um, and to come to that point, sadism. I mean, sadism. You could argue is not necessarily to do with hierarchy or status. It's just being unpleasant for the hell of it. Just being unpleasant because you enjoy being unpleasant. What is that about? Um, n- I kind of understand now that I'm thinking out loud, such as the nature of this type of video. People being unpleasant, people bullying in order to gain a place in a group or to be in the best position to get a promotion. I mean, it's not justifying it, but I can understand the thought process. But bullying just for the sake of bullying because it gives you a kick, mind blown. Um, Surely you go to bed at night thinking, "What have I done? I've been really horrible to that person. Why did I behave in such a way? And I've done bad things. I've not bullied anyone. I've been very defensive there. I don't mean to come across as so defensive, but I've not bullied anyone. Fact. I wouldn't dream of it. I've done bad things, and they do keep me awake at night, but they're not related to bullying. Absolutely not. I can't deal. I hate conflict. I hate conflict. I try desperately every single day of my life to avoid conflict. So bullying is just the absolute opposite of my intention for the day, for every day. So surely people go to bed, people who have bullied someone, they must reflect at least for a split second. Did I behave well? Well, no, you did not. You made someone miserable. Why would you do that? And I think autistic people, they're far more likely to be the victim of bullying than be bullies themselves. They're in a minority. A majority of people that negatively judge them anyway. I'm not saying all of those people are bullies themselves, but because of that majority versus minority sort of dynamic, and people thinking that autistic people are deficient, and we're not. We're different, but we're not deficient. They think that within that context, it becomes easier to target autistic people and mistreat them. And I'm not justifying it, but I'm just looking at the fact that autistic people are in a minority, and bullies will find it easier to be bullies when they are in a majority, when they feel confident that they can mistreat people because they're backed up by others. So they're being bullies within that unfortunate wider context of autistic people being viewed as inferior. And this is a big reason why I make these videos, albeit my viewing figures are minuscule. One person watches this video and learns something, or another video, then that's progress. And lots of other better, bigger YouTube channels out there, collectively, we're trying to counter this view that autistic people are inferior and counter this view that autistic people somehow deserve to be bullied. We do not, and no one deserves to be bullied. Absolutely outrageous. So just to finish up then, my last word on my very quickly put together list is difference. As I keep saying, autistic people, as if it needs to be pointed out, are different, not deficient. And autistic people get accused of not liking difference. We want things to be all the same all the time, routine. We like to be able to. I'm speaking for all autistic people. I'll speak for myself. I like to know what's coming. I don't like uncertainty. I like to be in control of my own plans as much as possible. Granted, consistency. I like rules, or rules that make sense. But I find that a lot of neurotypical people do not appreciate difference. They want things to be the same. They want people to be the same. I'm not talking about all neurotypical people. I'm saying there's a big amount of neurotypical people who do not appreciate difference. And that goes for whether they're going to get on with autistic people, whether they're going to get on with people who are of a different race, different nationality, from a different country. And there are plenty of people, sadly, who view people who are different negatively. And they see that as cause, as reason to mistreat them. So obviously I'm talking about mistreatment, bullying from an autistic point of view, but I'm also acknowledging that differences in general are very sadly used as a reason by some people to be a bully, and it's just not acceptable. So, autistic people aren't the ones who want everything to be the same all the time necessarily. Look at neurotypical people, some neurotypical people who insist that difference is bad when it's not. Diversity makes the world go round, and that's the hill that I'm figuratively going to die on. But difference is a huge reason why bullying happens. People's unwillingness to accept difference is a massive reason for bullying, get my words out. And I'm just using this channel as an opportunity to randomly, in an unscripted way, call it out. It's not acceptable. And I'm speaking for myself as an autistic person, and other autistic people. I'm trying to, having said I wouldn't speak on behalf of all autistic people, I clearly am saying, please don't bully autistic people. Please don't bully anyone at all. Whether they're different or not, just don't do it. We have one life. Let's be nice to each other. As cliched and as patronizing and as twee as that may sound, I think unfortunately it bears repeating. Let's be nice to each other. Let's call out bullying, and let's accept differences. Why can't it be easier than it is? Let's accept each other. So I'm going to stop now. Otherwise, I'll prattle on for another 10 minutes or so, and you don't want to hear that. Any ideas for future videos, let me know underneath in the comments. Any comments about this video, other than that was a rambling mess, because I know it was, please leave those in the comments underneath the video. And, let's call out the bullies, let's accept our differences, and let's take care of each other. Thank you for listening, and take care. Bye-bye.